Good morning, my name is Jean Colin Malinis and I'm the first reporter for Chapter 4 entitled The Nano World. Allow me to read first the learning objectives. At the end of this chapter, the student should be able to define nanotechnology and nanomaterials, categorize various nanomaterials used in different fields, identify the major impact of nanotechnology on society, and examine the application of nanotechnology. So what is nano? Nano means 1 billionth, which is a very small fraction. It's like dividing something into a billion equal pieces and taking one of those pieces. Nanotechnology is like building things with these super tiny objects. It's like making things that are really, really small and doing cool things with them. Think of it as a new way to make materials and tools. Imagine a tiny, tiny thing, so small you can even see it with a regular microscope. That's what we call a nano object. It's like a billionth of a meter. Super small. To get an idea, a piece of paper is around 100,000 nanometer thick, and your hair is between 50,000 and 180,000 nanometers wide. So another example, imagine gold. We usually see gold manjud as a yellow, but when it's made into tiny nano-sized pieces, it can look red or purple. This is because things change when they're that small. Nanotechnology is still new, but people have been using tiny things for a long time. Romans also used tiny gold and silver particles to make colorful glass. Now, scientists are using nanotechnology to make new things like special fabrics, medicine that works better, and even cleaner energy. It's like really exciting field. So this is the science of making and using things at the nanoscale, things smaller than 100 nanometers. We use special tools and techniques to work with these tiny particles to create new materials and devices with amazing properties. Nanotechnology core principle is that materials have differently at the nanoscale than they do at the larger scales. This is because of the increased surface area to volume ratio of nanoparticles. These unique properties lead to novel application. So for instance, gold, typically yellow in bulk form, can appear red or purple as nanoparticles due to changes in how light interacts with the materials at this scale. So similar effects are observed in silver and titanium dioxide. Key contributors to nanotechnology: Richard Feynman, 1959, a Nobel Prize-winning physicist who envisioned manipulating individual atoms and molecules in his influential lectures. There's plenty of room at the bottom. While he didn't propose scientific method, his visionary ideas laid the groundwork for the field of nanotechnology and inspired future research. And the second is Norio Taniguchi, 1974, a professor who coined the term nanotechnology, defining it as the precise control and manipulation of materials at the nanometer scale. His contribution provided the field with a concrete name and focus, paving the way for advancement and advanced manufacturing process. Taniguchi's work helped establish nanotechnology as recognized area of study and research. So in microscope innovations, advances in microscopy were crucial. The invention of the scanning tunneling microscope, STM, in 1981 and the atomic force microscope, AFM, in 1986 allowed scientists to visualize and manipulate individual atoms and molecules, making experimental nanotechnology possible. So approaches to nanotechnology. There are two primary approaches to creating nanomaterials and nanodevices. So the first one is top-down approach. This involves starting with a larger materials and progressively reducing its size down to the nanoscale. Think of it sculpting a tiny figure from a larger block of material. Microchip manufacturing is a prime example of this approach. And the second is bottom-up approach. So this method involves assembling individual atoms or molecules into larger nanostructures. It's like similar to building a Lego castle brick by brick. Self-assembly, a naturally occurring phenomenon where molecules spontaneously arrange themselves into ordered structure, is a key aspect of this approach. And unique properties, nanoparticles often act differently than the same materials in larger size. For example, gold is usually yellow man jud sa atong makita sa itong mga mata, but when it's made into nanoparticles, gagmay na kaayo siya, it can appear red or purple, which is makita siya sa microscope. This is due to changes how light interacts with the material at the nanoscale. This is also true for other materials like silver. In applications, nanotechnology has many uses. Engineering, stronger and lighter materials for cars and airplanes. And medicine, delivering drugs directly to cancer cells, creating new medical imaging techniques. And biology also studying cells and their processes at very detailed level. Example including carbon nanotubes, extremely strong and lightweight tubes, and quantum dots, tiny particles that glow differently colors depending on their size. So the EPA classification, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, has scientific categories for different types of nanomaterials to better understand and manage the potential environmental impacts. These categories are based on material properties and potential risk.
Good day, sir. I'm Roselyn Bahian. I'm the second reporter. So, I will discuss about the US SPA 2007 classified nanomaterials into four types. So, there are one, ang carbon-based nanomaterials, metal-based materials, dendrimers, and the last is nanocomposites. So, I will discuss first. Number one, the carbon-based nanomaterials, which are mostly hollow spheres, ellipsoids, or tubes for carbon. Fullerenes by buckyballs are the example made of 20 hexagon and 12 pentagons of carbon atoms. This classification helps manage the rest and benefits of these tiny materials. So another example of carbon-based nanomaterials is the CNTS. Unlike fullerenes, which are spherical or ellipsoidal, CNTS are cylindrical structures made of rolled-up sheets of graphene, a single layer of carbon atoms arranged in the hexagonal lattice. These tubes can be single-walled or CWCNTS or multi-walled depending on the number of centric graphene layers. Their unique structures give them exceptional strength, electrical conductivity, and other properties leading to various applications in the electronic materials, science, and the medicine. So number two is the metal-based materials. This category includes quantum dots, manogolds, manosilvers, and metal oxides like titanium dioxides. Image shown sa carbon nanotube or CNT as an example of those are carbon-based, not a metal-based. So there seems to be slight inconsistency in the image. So another example is ang katong gold nanoparticles or AUNPS. Number three, dendrimers are the tree-like nanosized polymers with many branching arms. These arms can be modified to carry and deliver drugs more effectively. So, another one example is the application of drug deliveries using them to carry anti-cancer drugs. There are numerous surface groups in the dendrimer can be modified to attach multiple drug molecules. So the dendrimer acts of the carrier protecting the drug during transport and releasing it specifically at the target location. So the last types of nanocomposites are materials created by the combining different nanoparticles in the molecule level. So this mixing creates materials with improved properties compared to the individual's components. For example, combining strong nanoparticles like carbon and nanotubes with flexible ones like polymers. So result is the materials that can be strong and flexible. Application of nanotechnology. Nanotechnology uses tiny structures like dendrimers to deliver drugs directly to disease cells, improving treatment and reducing side effects. A study shown gold nanoshells successfully deliver drugs to the breast cancer cells. So an MIT team created a dissolvable waterproof bandage using nanopillars that mimic Jigco-Fit for strong temporary adhesions to the skin. So that's all my report.
The unique properties and structure of CNTS provide wide-ranging applications. CNTS are distinct from carbon fibers in that the uh, latter are traditionally used in industrial products such as tennis racket, baseball bats, car and airplane frames, and batteries. CNTs have distinct properties: size, structural integrity, and high, high, high electronic conductivity that makes them ideal electron emitters. Electron emission materials are used in flat panel displays, electrogun and electron microscopes, and microwave amplifiers. These properties are make them potentially viable viable for effective energy production and storage. The unique properties daw and structure ay carbon nan nanotubes. Si NDCI nagbibigay daan sa malawak na hanay ng mga application. Hindi tulad ng traditional na carbon fibers na ginagamit sa products. The diagram shows the applications of light and titanium dioxide, T, TiO2, photocatalysis. This process leads that is water treatment, air cleaning, self-cleaning services, anti-fogging, and antimicrobial effects.
Morning, sir. My name is Nashima M. Dimampa, and this is the continuation of report of Ms. Sangkad. My report is all about various application of photocatalysis of tin dioxide. Photocatalysis of nanomaterial tin dioxide, or TiO, has been proven to have self-cleaning building materials that have superhydrophobic and superhydrophilic properties. Self-cleaning is achieved by coating semiconductor of photocatalyzed tin dioxide on glass, ceramics, or plastic. It means ang photocatalysis ng nanomaterials na tin dioxide ay napatunayan na may kakayahan magbigay ng self-cleaning na mga materials para sa mga welding na may superhydrophobic, hindi tinatabla ng tubig, at superhydrophilic na madaling tinatanggap ng tubig ng mga properties. Ang self-cleaning ay nakamit sa pamamagitan ng pag-coat ng semiconductor ng photocatalyst na tin dioxide sa mga materials tulad ng salamin, ceramic, o plastic. And according to BEDEX ETL 2000, kapag ang tin dioxide ay na-expose sa UV light, ito ay nagbibigay na antibacterial na nangangahulugan na nakakatulong ito sa pagpatay ng mga mikrobyo at bakterya. And bacteria cell walls and cytoplasmic membranes can be damaged by photocatalytic reaction of tin dioxide. By Huang and Shin 2000. A study by Chu et al. 2007 showed that titanium dioxide photocatalysis significantly reduced pathogenic bacteria like Salmonella, E. coli, and Bacillus cereus in carrots, offering a safer alternative to chemical disinfectants for fresh vegetables. Ayon kina Huang at Shin 2000, ang photocatalytic reaction ng tin dioxide ay nagdudulot ng pinsala sa pader ng cell at cytoplasmic membrane ng bakterya. Sa isang pag-aral ni Chu et al. 2007, napatunayan na ang mga bakterya na nagdudulot ng mga sakit mula sa pagkain tulad ng Salmonella, Escherichia coli at Bacillus cereus ay maring mapatay sa pamamagitan ng photocatalysis ng tin dioxide. Ang bilang ng mga pathogenic na bakterya sa mga carrots ay lubos na nababasa gamit ng titanium dioxide. Ipinapakita nito na may posibilidad na magamit ang photocatalysis bilang isang paraan ng disinfecting ng mga sariwang gulay na may mas konting panganib kumpara sa paggamit ng mga delikadong kemikal. Anhydrous titanium dioxide nanoparticles can eliminate air pollutants with the high quality TiO2 catalyst, removing nitrous oxide at 200 meters a day. And VOC is at 60 meters a day. According to Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory, TiO2 and zinc oxide are also used in a sunscreen for UV protection and have a potential for water filtration and purification. It means that nanoparticles of anhydrous titanium dioxide or TiO2 can effectively eliminate harmful air pollutants such as nitrous oxide or N2O and volatile organic compounds or VOCs. Research by Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory show that the high quality of TiO2 catalyst can remove these pollutants at the rate of 200 meters per day for N2O and 60 meters per day for VOCs. Additionally, TiO2 and zinc oxide are used in the sunscreen to protect against UV rays or ultraviolet rays and have a potential to application in water filtration and purification. Nanofilms are used to make a surface water repellent, anti-reflective, UV, infrared resistant, and scratch resistant. Commonly in eyeglasses, monitors, and cameras, nanoscale materials with iron such as a nanoscale zero-valent iron or NZV help reduce environmental pollution by treating contaminated groundwater and hazardous waste, effectively reducing contaminants like PCE, DCE, and CDCE. Ang mga nanofilms ay maaaring gamitin sa mga manipis na pelikula upang gawing water repellent, anti-reflective, ultraviolet resistance, infrared resistance, at scratch resistance. Ginagamit ang mga ito sa paggawa ng mga salamin, monitor ng computer at mga kamera upang protektahan ang kanilang mga ibabaw. Sa pagbawas ng pollution sa kapaligiran, ginagamit ang mga nanoscales na materials na naglalaman ng iron upang ayusin ang mga lugar ng mga groundwater at iba pang mga lugar na may panganib na basura. Ang nanoscale zero-valent iron or NZV ay nagpatunayan na may kakayahang chemical na bawasan ang mga contaminant tulad ng tetrachlorethane PCE at trichlorethane TCE at cis-1,2-dechlorethane line o CDCE.